Rental is a horror game, but it doesn't seem all that scary when you first play it. The characters are cutesy, there's no jump scares, and it seems like there's a happy ending. It's certainly true that you could play the game thinking this and still enjoy it. However, I'd like to offer an alternative interpretation, one that paints the game in a more serious light, exploring themes of loneliness, isolation, and community. Before I continue, spoiler warning, and when you're ready, press play. The game begins with a series of images flashing on screen. Some appear to be sketches, others sculptures, ending with the name, Animitas Project. Animitas are a Chilean tradition of roadside shrines that are built to honor the final resting place for those who have died in a violent or tragic way, leaving behind a small reminder of just how precious life is. All of the shrines we see flash on screen are adorned with flowers, crosses, and candles, typical items you'd expect to see at a memorial, but some of them are also decorated with childish toys, windmills, teddy bears, and pink plush rabbits. This detail is easy to dismiss as just being a studio's logo, but is important as it serves as a clue as to what happens next. After this cryptic imagery, a cutscene plays where a blue van drives on a quiet, isolated road. Inside is the family of our main character, Umi, whose parents have rented out a cabin for vacation. They are expecting the rental man to drop off the keys, although it appears that he arrived early, leaving the cabin door open. Umi's mother then tasks Umi with retrieving the keys while the rest of the family unloads the car. Notably, the dynamic between Umi's family is a little bit off. For one, Umi seemingly has no interest in interacting with her brother, who asks to play with her, later on remarking that she would prefer he eat outside rather than with the rest of the family. Her parents are also unsympathetic, as they make their young daughter get the keys from the rental man instead of doing the work themselves, not caring about the danger of Umi being alone with a stranger. Once Umi enters the cabin, the door slams shut and traps her inside. With no other option, she walks down the winding hallways until she reaches the master bedroom. Besides the bed is the rental man, who is shocked to see another person. He claims to have been trapped in the cabin for weeks, maybe months, believing it to be a cursed space, and that the only way for Umi to leave is to perform a ritual. This ritual requires 6 crosses, a woman behind bars, an angry man, 3 candles, as well as another item. He then wishes Umi good luck in her journey to escape, and then pops out of existence before Umi can ask any questions. The bulk of the game is Umi's search of the cabin and finding these unique objects. Though it may seem like a daunting task, the cabin is actually full of this religious imagery. Interestingly, Umi doesn't recognize these religious figures, only seeing them as random men and women. In her search, Umi looks at a painting in the hallway, remarking that the kid in the painting is ugly. This child is most likely Jesus, as he stands next to Joseph and Mary, who we can identify by her blue robe. Umi also finds a Catholic rosary, understanding it to be an accessory and not an item for prayer. Umi's ignorance to such iconic imagery may signal that she was never introduced to Christianity or religion at all. Yet, the cabin isn't populated with just paintings. It's also furnished with fleshy chairs and a table that floats supernaturally. Similar to the crosses, Umi has little to no reaction to these objects. It seems like Umi lacks emotions, going through her life with little to no reaction to anything, not to her family's conversation, not to the rental man disappearing, nor to the creature that appears in the cabin. Every now and again, the game will randomly glitch, turning the warm, cozy colors of the game into an eerie blue color. The first time this happens, Umi remarks that she doesn't feel good, perhaps being filled with dread when the towering silhouette follows her around the cabin, watching her movements and making itself known. Once Umi collects all the ritual items she can find in the house, she stumbles upon a secret room in the cabin, a labyrinth of mirrors. In this space, Umi finds 3 crosses, completing her search. After opening another door, Umi enters the ritual circle, a black void filled with only floating stones. Umi places all of the items in a circle, and after saying some gibberish to invoke the ritual, the stalking figure appears, though much larger, and it picks up one of the stones. We then cut back to Umi, whose mother is talking, but none of the words are reaching her. This is the ending to the first playthrough of the game. The second playthrough is identical besides a new ending, with Umi instead waking up in the blue van from the start of the game, talking to her dad instead of her mom. There are a few different explanations for what has occurred with Umi. The simplest is that Umi was simply daydreaming. Although daydreaming is generally harmless, spacing out in the middle of a conversation with your mom and imagining an entire scenario of yourself being trapped inside a house and needing to perform a ritual is typically not the sign of a healthy mind. Umi may have a condition known as maladaptive daydreaming, where one can become disconnected from reality and spend hours daydreaming, often as a response to anxiety or trauma. Combined with Umi's relationship with her family and her lack of reaction to the strangeness of the cabin, we get a pretty bleak picture. Umi might daydream so often that she isn't scared of the things she sees in daydreams, or struggles with her emotions so much she has become apathetic to the world, seeking to protect herself. Contributing to this is the fact that she might not have a very pleasant relationship with her family, either not feeling very connected to them or just having a bad relationship. Both the first and second endings show that the daydreams happened while talking to her parents, one being her dad and the other her mom. Even if this isn't just a daydream, Umi's reactions to the world, or maybe lack of, suggest something alarming. For an alternative interpretation of the game, we must look back at the beginning, with the Animitas. A clue to this theory is that the van ending happens after the ending where she's outside the cabin. After repeating the game, we don't move forward, instead moving backwards. It is often a trope that those who have died, especially those who have died in a non-peaceful manner, like those honored by an Animita, cannot pass on peacefully to an afterlife, instead reliving the moments before they died. It is possible that Umi, for one reason or another, did not survive this family trip, possibly at the hands of the spirit stalking her in the cabin, who could be the rental man or someone else. Interestingly, in order for the family to know about the rental cabin, they would have needed to have called somebody, or arranged it somehow, but the man Umi believed to be the rental man didn't seem to have any contact with the outside world. Although this so-called rental man gave Umi some hints, I don't really think he is the man who owns the house. Perhaps the real rental man is the spirit, and this so-called rental man is actually just the previous victim, trapped for eternity just like Umi is now. I would wager that this interpretation is also still related to Umi's relationship to her family. It is often that when children die, it is partially the result of neglect. Umi was told to go look for the rental man all alone, being a child too young to even recognize any Christian symbols. As a result, she was trapped in the cabin by herself. There's not too much to suggest how Umi was killed, but it could be related to how, after she performs the ritual, the spirit picks up a giant boulder. Perhaps she was crushed, although this is far more up in the air. In the end, no matter how you view the game, Umi's fate is certainly not pleasant, with one interpretation certainly being worse than the other though. Overall, the game was a cute but somewhat dark horror experience, and it is a mark of effective game design to make something unnerving without having to rely on jump scares. And with that, I think I have said all I have to say about Rental for now. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. A big thanks to my supporters on Patreon and Ko-Fi. It is support from viewers like you that allow me to create the videos I want to create. Happy Halloween, and see you next week.